Versatile Mage. Chapter 116 Saving Xinxia. Mo Fan stood inside the half of the control room left, looking past through the charred remains. The entire plaza could be seen in plain sight. A few one-eyed magic wolves were roaming around the plaza. It clearly looked like they hadn't found the food they were looking for before a huge bang was heard, and all of their focus was fixed on the hole that had suddenly appeared. One of the smaller one-eyed magic wolves watched those 6 nearly dead black beasts. It was frightened as it looked over to its comrade. Instead, its comrade looked at the human that was standing near the edge of the gigantic black hole, and its whole body shivered unwillingly. When both eyes of the beasts met, those 2 one-eyed magic wolves ran away in panic from Mingwen Plaza. It was easy to imagine that these 2 one-eyed magic wolves' thoughts were shattered, thinking inside that they were lucky. Holy shit, lucky we didn't go that way. Watching those 2 fleeing one-eyed magic wolves, Mo Fan was still in a boiling state. This is the intermediate class of fire element. This is the intermediate class of fire element. This is magic. This is real magic. The beginner's magic we learned was so weak compared to this. Damn you, Ang, that fucking Black Vatican dog, is still thinking of killing your grandpa, Mo Fan. Shit, I can't reveal any more. Xinxia is still in danger. Mo Fan belatedly noticed this important matter and stopped caring about those dying black beasts. He darted towards the Walmart at once. After reaching Intermediate Magician, Mo Fan felt that his own body had a noticeable change. He ran to the railing and simply jumped down from the 3rd floor. Landing, both his legs were quite stable. Mo Fan didn't dare to waste another second, darting towards the Walmart. Normally, Mo Fan would take the time to think about how to deal with those 2 giant-eyed ape rats wandering around the Walmart. But now, one ignite immediately blew away the iron door of Walmart. Who cared how many giant-eyed ape rats were in the store? Mo Fan rushed in, looking through the rows and rows of shelves, rapidly locking on and running toward the freezer on the monitoring screen. Mo Fan was running frantically before coming into a semi-spacious cargo channel. At this moment, those 2 giant-eyed ape rats peeked out after they heard a movement. When they saw a living human, those 2 giant-eyed ape rats began to make an excited sound. They moved onto the long shopping walkway and jumped towards Mo Fan. The giant-eyed ape rats were fast, their huge front teeth gaped wide in the air. Go die. Fire fist. Below his foot, a drawing of fire element energy was glowing brightly. The fire rapidly condensed around Mo Fan's wrists and held tightly around his right fist. Pang, pang, pang. Upon releasing the fire punch, the shelves on both sides of the aisle burned down to ash under its power. The 2 giant-eyed ape rats could only regret that they were already halfway in their charge towards him. Were they blind? Didn't they recognize that this was an intermediate-class human magician? That giant rampaging fire punch couldn't be endured by their weak bodies. The raging fire engulfed them, turning them into ash, all in the blink of an eye. Mo Fan controlled his release just a little. After successfully killing the 2 giant-eyed ape rats, he withdrew the power of his fire fist, or else if it kept going the explosive power would set the Walmart ablaze. If it hurt Xinxia, that would be such a great crime. Xinxia, Xinxia. Mo Fan didn't even bother looking at the ashes, impatiently heading towards the end of the freezer section. The wheelchair in front of him, that giant freezer, also reached his sight. Mo Fan rushed to the front of the freezer. Inside the freezer, Xinxia was lying there like a sleeping beauty. Her skin was originally fair, but now it was a scarily pale white. Her peaceful face didn't have any sign of color. Both of her eyes were tightly shut. Her long eyebrows had a little frost on them. It looked like a frozen tear. Mo Fan hurriedly carried her out, but only felt that freezing cold death. Xinxia. Mo Fan felt like he was hit by a thunderbolt. Wake up. Wake up. I'm Mo Fan. I'm Mo Fan. I'm here to save you. The fire from Mo Fan's body began to burn. He held the petite body of Xinxia in his arms, hoping that the flames could help the frozen Xinxia awaken. Heat constantly transferred, swiftly clearing away the frost that tried to take a girl's life. Her body started to slowly warm up. Her almost stagnant breath was also starting to follow along, opening her heavy eyes, one very warm body holding her tightly. Yi Xin-chia felt that the warmth was something she never experienced, but also that it was very familiar. Brother Mo Fan. Yi Xin-chia's voice was so weak that it almost couldn't be heard, and she couldn't believe that it was him. Some said that before a person died, they would have illusions. Yi Xin-chia was scared that this was the last flare of happiness that a girl selling matchsticks would see. But being held tightly felt so real. Mo Fan heard a sound. He then realized it was Yi Xin-chia who had opened her eyes and was talking gibberish. In front of a disaster, everybody's lives were so weak. Mo Fan had already seen so many girls die during this disaster. He was so afraid that this would happen to Yi Xin-chia too. After all, other people had the ability to run away, but what about her? Mo Fan came here unfaltered. He knew that Yi Xin-chia was crippled and definitely would be abandoned in a place somewhere, helplessly waiting for death. Brother Mo Fan, I thought I would never see you again. Yi Xin-chia's heart was melted away. Her soft arms hugged Mo Fan tight unconsciously, as if she was not willing to let go, wishing that she could melt into Mo Fan's warm body. How could I leave you alone and not care for you? Mo Fan replied, his voice cracking. Yi Xin-chia didn't reply, only hugged him tighter. The whole world could abandon her, but Mo Fan definitely would not. Knowing this fact, she now had no doubt of it. When the calamity broke out, and she had been left alone in the cold underground supermarket, Yi Xin-chia had not shed any tears. Only when Mo Fan really showed up in front of her did the tears start to shower down uncontrollably. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.